Thank you, Ms. Toastmaster. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
When I formulated the idea for this speech last Friday, I thought, wow, this is genius. You could really learn a lot about somebody by following them around for a day. And then I put the presentation together, and it turned into being a 52-slide PowerPoint and 10-minute speech. So it was a little mushy-headed. And paring it down, I had a very difficult time because everything seemed to matter so much to me. So I thought, wow, this is actually Toastmasters gold. I have many speeches in this presentation that I can kind of give you a preview of today. So I'm going to start with my first speech, which would be, why do I get up at 5 in the morning and go to the gym? Not so much lately with the little guy inside me, but I have a few more excuses. But I go probably 2 or 3 times a week at 5 in the morning to our gym, and I would show you where I go and what exercise I do, which is a fitness called CrossFit. And why did I choose CrossFit? I'd tell you all about that. I'd show you the exercises that we do in the gym. And I might tell you how much of my social life actually revolves around my gym. And one of the people in here today, Amy Miller, is actually a friend that I met at the gym. So I would also introduce you to why I chose CrossFit back in 2012. And how I met this guy there, and he ended up becoming my husband. And I'd show you the perks of getting up at 5 in the morning because this is my view on my drive home. Absolutely love this sunrise down our street. Another speech I could give you as I arrive home is about my house itself, how Jeff and I decided to renovate the house when we bought it, and it turned out to be another mushy-headed idea. It was a nightmare construction, and we ended up living, spoiler alert, we ended up living the last 8 months before we got married in my mom's basement with our 2 dogs. Wow. And I would introduce you to those dogs, but I think I'll go ahead and do that now because I thought this was really fun. So I'd take 7 minutes of my presentation to show you what gives me joy when I come home. There's Mitchell, and there's Simon. Aww. Give me a big stretch. And they're always there at the top of the stairs waiting for me when I get home. I'd probably give another speech about where I go every day. This is our office at 143rd and Metcalf, and I work for a company for the last 10 years called Boyer & Corcoran Wealth Management. And the Boyer in the equation is actually my dad, Richard Boyer. He started as a rookie stockbroker back in 1981 for a company called Kidder Peabody. And he built his clientele by cold calling over the years, and luckily we don't have to do that anymore. But his business partner he met in 1994, her name is Mindy Corcoran. And they actually built their business together and were able to become an independent company in 2007 when they opened the doors at Boyer & Corcoran Wealth Management. So they've been working together for many years, but many of you might recognize Mindy. I could give you an entire other speech about what happened to her 4 years ago and the tragedy that struck her when she lost her son and her father at the Jewish Community Center in a shooting, and how she's gone on to be a prolific speaker in our area and to heal herself and others through her foundation, Faith Always Wins, in 7 days. In that speech, I'd probably tell you about how we've moved on as a firm from a 2-person ownership group to a 7-person ownership group, of which I am a part, and why perhaps we've taken those steps in the last few years. I'd talk to you about what we do at our firm, how we have a wealth advisor team who meets with our clients and helps them in their financial lives, and how I'm a member of the portfolio management team who invests our clients' assets. I'd tell you that this isn't really where we work every day. I mean, it is now, but we're actually undergoing renovations in our office. And I'm going to finally have an office after 10 years. So this is welcome to my office in a couple weeks. I'd tell you about what I do in my role at the firm, reading economic articles and looking into the companies that we own and researching companies that we might want to add to our clients' portfolio. Pretty boring stuff, so I probably won't get too deep into that. But I enjoy it. What I won't give you a speech on is my Friday nights, because typically I come home, my husband and I crack a bottle of wine, and we watch a movie and go to bed. Only to get up to go to the gym the next morning. But this night was pretty fun, I thought, so I wanted to show you that we do have a little bit of fun some Fridays. We drove down, this is me coming home, and my husband works out of our home. He owns a title company. So I get to see his lovely face when I walk in the door. And we drove down to Kansas City, Kansas, which I had never been. I can't even believe it. But I had no idea there was a whole city there and a casino. We went to El Camino Real, which is an authentic Mexican restaurant, and then we went to the Memorial Hall for my cousin's boxing match, if you can believe it. So my cousin, she moved here from San Francisco recently, and she's become an amateur boxer. So we got to watch her box, and this is her. She's in the red here. I mean, pretty serious stuff, right? So she was the last bout that night at 11:30. She was supposed to fight at 9:30, she said. So we sat there and watched. It was pretty cool, though. And luckily, she ended up winning the fight. And this was the last picture of my night, which I actually like to end on because you can see on my right is my mother. And I think it's pretty cool that I got to see both my mom and my dad in one day. And then you have my cousins and my stepdad, second from the right. So I'd probably give you another speech about divorce because my parents were divorced when I was a sophomore in high school, but I gained 2 families out of it. So that's a day in my life. Thank you for going through it with me, and hopefully I can, it gives you a little teaser into what I might speak to you about in the future. Excellent.